Okay, welcome to Lemon Drops and Conversations, where I have the lemon drops and they have the conversations. I'm Kaylin.
What's up? This your boy Vinny Mo, aka Big Ugly, aka Uncle Debo. Holla at me.
What up, though? This is Wally.
Okay, and on today's show we have a guest, and her name is Rika. How you doing today, Rika?
Hey, Rick. How you doing?
Welcome.
All right.
Okay, would you like to tell everybody what you do for the community?
Yes, my name is Alrika Forbes, and I currently work as a clinical therapist. I provide services for individuals of all ages, and the area that our preference is adolescents, so maybe like 16 to early 20s, and adult women are my preferred audience.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, so we meet people every day on our journey, you know, and some of us we end up marrying, and some of us we don't. I ended up in a situation a while ago, and knowing this person for a long time, let's say like 2 years ago is really when I started to see how the individual was in the house, you know, or whatever. So when I got back, I told my client about the situation, and she said that, oh, he's a narcissist. And I did not know who that was. You know, you will hear it, you will see it on social media, but they never really go into depth. It's like really what it is and how it occurs and what you go through and all that other good stuff. But Don, I want you to read the definition for me of the narcissist.
Okay. A narcissist personality disorder is a mental health condition in which people have an unreasonably high sense of their own importance. They need and seek too much attention and want people to admire them. People with this disorder may lack the ability to understand or care about the feelings of others. But behind the mask of extreme confidence, they are not sure of their self-worth and are easily upset by the slightest criticism.
How you feel about that, bitch?
How do I feel about it? Or how do I feel about people that's like that?
Yeah, people.
I think the definition is, yeah, for sure. That's right on point. As far as the people go, like it's hard to deal with that. I've been with a person that's like that, and you try to look past it, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes people can be that way and still be a good-hearted person, but that narcissism kind of takes over, and it's kind of like, even though you're a nice person, but it's like, yeah, I can't continue to fuck.
Well, how do you know that you run into it? What did they start to choose that this was?
I didn't notice that at first, because at first people like that, they hide that. They try to hide that. Right. See, and I don't do that. I'm me 24/7. You know what I'm saying? So how you meet me is how you meet me. So I'm gonna be talking shit, cracking jokes the first day. Since you met me in high school.
I don't know.
Don't matter.
I know you
It's good bullshit. But yeah, so I don't hide who I am. You know what I'm saying? So but a lot of people do. You know what I'm saying? They get nervous or they scared. They know the people gonna run the fuck off. Like they ain't gonna fuck with them. So they put out that, you know, that representative.
That grandiose behavior.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And I don't do that. So I missed it.
So do you turn it off and turn it on? Is that? Because I remember a lady used on YouTube that it was like the candle was lit and they happy, and then the person would blow it out, and then when you try to light it, then the person will blow it out, and then they try to light it when it was some stuff she had.
Yeah, you just threw me off.
You want me to touch on it a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I kind of disagree with him that a narcissist is nice, because I think that they're so manipulative that it's like any effort they make to be nice, maybe they're nice to other people, but not necessarily the person that they're in like a relationship with. And I guess what he says is kind of right. I mean, everybody starts off nice in a relationship, they charm you, and then once they get to know you, you know, they have you right where they want you, and then once you get comfortable, then it kind of starts. But it's like a narcissist is abusive, so they're not necessarily physically abusive, but they're emotionally and verbally abusive, and what they can become, it's like a very high probability they're going to become verbally abusive if you're not submissive. So a narcissist behave themselves if you do whatever they want you to do. But the moment that you start pushing back, then it gets worse. Then that's the part where it could become physical. But before that, it's just like they're still manipulative, they gaslight, and they do all the other stuff. And because it's really hard to spot emotional abuse because you don't have any bruises. So you tell somebody, hey, I'm at home, I'm getting yelled at, I'm getting emotionally abused. They're looking at you like, what the heck? It's like, it's really hard to explain because a lot of people just think like people are not educated on the matter and they just think, oh, you're being dramatic, you know? So it's like people don't really get it. And it's just like, it's really hard to say, okay, let me pick up my camera and record it so I can show somebody what's going on. Because if you're scared of the person at home, are you going to pick up the camera and record? Or are you going to try to get evidence on what they're doing? But it's so subtle. I feel like it starts off so subtle that you don't notice it. And every time you catch on to the behavior changes. They just come up with a new tactic. So
that's what I was saying.
So that's why it's hard to figure it out because they study you and they figure out what your weaknesses are and they use those weaknesses against you. And when they realize that you're kind of onto them, then they kind of think like, okay, now I got to find a new tactic because that one ain't working no more because they don't figure me out. So they just keep on changing, which is why it's kind of make you think you're crazy, like, you know, and it's just like, is this person like have narcissistic tendency? And then it's like, it's kind of like somebody who's being physically abused. They gaslight you, they manipulate you, and they do all these little mind game tactics. And then after they do it, then they go buy you flowers or candy or something or do something nice.
Yeah.
And then it starts over. And then until the next incident, they start over. And then they're really nice. And then they start over. So it's kind of like, you're like, I think this person's a bad person. I think this person got really bad narcissistic tendencies. But then you're like, well, he's really nice. He just got me my favorite purse. Or he just got me my favorite cologne or something, you know? So you're just kind of like, am I crazy? Or like, is this actually happening? So so it's like very tricky. So I really feel like a narcissist isn't nice because if you're nice, why would you manipulate people? Why would you gaslight people? Why would you do all these manipulative behavior? Why would you defer your behavior? Because a narcissist doesn't take responsibility. They don't think they're doing anything.
Right.
So they deflect all their negative behavior onto the person that they're I would say their target. And the target is not just a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend. It could be a wife. It could be a child. It could be anybody, you know. And it's just like in today's society, it's sad because when you use the word narcissism on social media, people don't take you seriously anymore because now people are just like, well, it's like as soon as their spouse have a negative tendency, they're like, oh, he's narcissistic.
Right.
And so people don't really take it seriously, but it's like a real thing, you know. It's like a real thing.
So can a person come in and get counseling for being a narcissist?
Yes, I have counseled a narcissist. He actually came in and he was like, well, it's been pointed out to him, and he had extensive therapy before me, and I think his spouse pointed out to him that she thought that he had these tendencies, and they usually do not take responsibility. So this was a unique case, and he actually agreed that he had these tendencies and he wanted help. And so a narcissist typically don't admit they're doing something wrong. They don't think they're doing nothing wrong. I think in their mind they actually think that the behaviors are like justified. And so because they don't admit that something is wrong, it's really hard to change the behavior. Traditional counseling doesn't typically work for a narcissist. Batteries intervention is what works. So the same.
Hold on. Go back. You said traditional counseling.
Traditional counseling is not recommended for a narcissist.
Right.
So what's
Because
traditional
for
counseling?
Just therapy, one-on-one therapy. Because for therapy, in order for you to make a change, you have to admit you have a problem. A narcissist does not admit that they have a
So
problem.
what's the other type of the other counseling that you just said?
Batteries intervention.
So what is that?
Yeah, I think it's more gained towards like people that are abusive, because a narcissist has abusive tendency. You know, it's just like you said, people acknowledge physical, but not so much emotional and verbal. But that's all abusive. So if to treat a narcissist, you probably want to go to a professional that specializes in that area and have a lot of expertise in that area to kind of address it. But he was unique. He was unique because he cared enough about saving his relationship that he was actually willing to stop and recognize that he had a problem and make a change. And that is the first time I've ever seen somebody that actually said, hey, I'm a narcissist and I'm willing to make a change. Because usually it's like, I don't have a problem. Something wrong with the other person who is being accusatory. It's nothing wrong with them. And it's just like, everything that you accuse them of doing is your fault. It's your problem. It's just all deflected back to the victim.
Okay, that's what's that?
I just had two questions. My first question was, well, I had a statement first. I just wanted it to be known I wasn't abused because I'm the type of nigga I don't give a fuck. Once you're doing your shit, I was. But again, that means I put up with the shit.
Okay, no,
Once you got on your bullshit, I peeped it. It's like fuck you.
Okay, well,
That's the first thing. I wasn't abused. I want to put that out there.
Okay.
Second thing is, I'm waiting.
I'm a man to
I'm
be
waiting.
abused.
I understand that. It's
You
just
do become abused.
and I know that.
And women
I
can't
don't.
abuse you.
I don't.
Well, emotionally.
I don't have no feelings.
Wait a minute.
My second thing is I want to hear it because Wiley been over there cheesing. He been moving and cheesing like a motherfucker. I want to hear it.
Wait.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. You said women can't abuse you?
No, I said women can abuse.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Yeah.
everybody can have
You been over there cheesing and shaking your head. I'm ready.
Get the mood.
You know, I am. I'm just like narcissist right now in society. It's a buzzword. It's a buzzword.
And you do hear it all the time.
That's all you hear all the time.
True.
Now, two things can be right at the same time.
Right.
If you gave the way you gave the definition, you gave somewhat a positive, somewhat a negative. You get what I'm saying? People know who you are when they meet you. That representative BS is out the door. If somebody don't know who you are off the jump, they're not paying attention to you. That's the bottom line. They're only hearing what they want to hear. But if you sit here and listen to a person where they talk and actually analyze how they talk, you'll know everything you need to know.
So give us an example.
Yeah, we said this before. Like when you meet somebody,
Right.
You meet a young man or you meet a young man, you meet a young woman.
Hello.
When y'all on the phone, y'all conversating, she's telling you everything about her. You inquiring everything about her. You know, being in the game this long, if they on some BS, you can see through that. Now it's up to you if you
Can be aware of what you're.
want to do with it, or you want to be in denial yourself and say, well, I know, she throw out a couple of red flags that I don't agree with,
Right.
but I got an end game. So I'm gonna go follow through this end game, and I gotta put up whatever I want to put up with to get to what I want to get.
So what if in the beginning those conversations don't come up?
Then you ain't asking the right questions.
So let me.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Now, I'm about to say that sometimes every situation, you don't go into every situation looking for a relationship. Sometimes relationships just happen.
If you.
And I've been there. I don't know if you've been there, but I've been there.
Yeah,
So in the beginning of that, yeah,
So that means that we out here dating on purpose.
I have.
I mean, we all have.
I have. Yeah.
Coming up, you have.
Yeah, I have.
Until you mature enough mentally, understand.
Right.
This is what I want.
Uh-huh.
Other than that, you like. Hey,
Jump in when you.
Right.
beautiful
I like
woman.
fresh off a divorce.
Hey,
I'm like, I ain't give a
beautiful
fuck.
woman. I want to have fun.
There you go.
No strings attached.
There you go.
I'm gonna go ahead and do what I need to do.
Exactly.
So going back to what we talking about. So like she said, a narcissist can come off as being nice in the beginning when you meet somebody. So that is the representative.
No. You
Okay.
are. It's not a representative. You
Yeah.
got to pay attention.
Because a
Because I can come in and be sweet as pie, but that's who I am.
So what you?
But I can come in and be a dog off the rip and say, yo, this is the 4 F's. This is
Right.
what I'm riding with.
so
Like,
it,
either
okay,
you gonna get down,
or you'll lay down.
you gonna lay down.
So you okay? So now you just said about we gonna come in and be the 4 F's. Are you like that in the beginning? Do you be like, hey, this is the 4 F situation, baby? So what's up? Are you like that, or are you kind of nice?
Well, first of all, you don't just let nobody know when you're giving them the 4 F's. You understand what I'm saying? You don't let that be known. Hey, babe, I'm about the 4 F. That ain't how that go.
Hey, no, I
And for the, I'm about to say, yeah, I understand. So I'm about to break it down. Everybody, the 4 F's. The 4 F's we discussed on a previous episode. The 4 F's for us as men.
Oh.
You find them, you fuck them, you feed them, and you forget about them.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah. So you don't just off rip, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to 4 F you. No, you don't say that. You just let it happen.
Well,
So then you kind of be kind of nice, like you want something to drink, what you drinking on?
No, that's feeding them.
But however, you got
That's
to
feeding them.
at this
That comes after.
At this point in life, you gotta be upfront with them because majority of women probably want the same thing. You
Mhm.
upfront with them. But
Sure,
you tell them a false narrative. That's when you get the BS behind it.
Right.
So Rika,
You know what I'm
a narcissist is kind of nice in the beginning, right? All across the board, women and me, right?
I think that like trying to go off of what Wally was saying. I think that yes, I guess if you pay attention, you will see who people really are. That's the idea, because I guess the idea is you pick up on the red flags and what things you like. But I think that it's like a lot of factors that affect how easily you spot like a narcissist. I was married. I was with somebody for 15 years, married for 10 years. That was a narcissist. And no, I didn't diagnose him because as a therapist, I can't diagnose my own husband. I myself have seen a few different therapists, so I've had professional opinion on the matter. And so in my case, I feel like I have a long history of trauma, most of it in my childhood. So that influenced my ability to identify that he was a narcissist because I have issues with my dad. So I don't know what a strong male guy, what a husband, what an appropriate mate is supposed to look like because my dad didn't teach me that. So for many years, I didn't notice it. Yes, there were red flags. Were there red flags? Yes. But I thought that the way to be a good wife or to be a good girlfriend was to do whatever he wanted. Because if I made him happy, then I was a good wife. And, you might say, well, that's stupid. Yes, it sounds stupid. But I didn't have a dad to say, my own dad was emotionally, verbally, and sexually abusive. So, I didn't have nothing to go by. So I'm just doing what I feel was the right thing to do based on a blank slate and knowing nothing. And so after years of being with him, got married, I just woke up one morning and I'm just like, I think I need to go to therapy and address the issues with my dad. Because I didn't want to tell anybody because if I said it when I was younger, then he would be in jail. So it's like, okay, no, I think I'm ready to talk about what he did to me. And so I did that because I noticed that my relationship wasn't healthy. But in order to address my relationship, I had to address the issues I have with my dad. And that's how I figured out, I put the link together and I figured out what was wrong in my marriage. And it took years after that point to leave because it was just like a process because I'd spent so long in a relationship with him, I kind of felt like, which was another stupid thing. I was like, well, I kind of accepted the behavior, I kind of tolerated it, so maybe I should give him a chance to change it, which was stupid, and so that was a process. That was like a 5-year process of trying to exit a relationship that I thought wasn't healthy. And like I said before, I was really submissive, and then towards the last maybe 4 or 5 years, I started to push back because I noticed things weren't right. And so I decided I wanted to be an individual because in this relationship, it's just like I was a team. He was an individual, but I was a team. I wasn't an I. I didn't stand alone because a narcissist also have very controlling behaviors, So it's just like, so yes, ideally, you should recognize the red flags in a relationship. But like I said, it depends on your experience. How much experience do you have in a relationship? Do you have any trauma? It's just like a lot of different factors that influence it. So it's easy to judge the choices and decisions people make when it comes to dating. But until you understand that person's background, it really doesn't make any sense. And I'm now recently divorced, a year ago, divorced from him. And so it's just like, it's really, really tricky. It's just a lot of intricate stuff to it. And I feel like to truly understand it, you have to either be willing to put the research in or have to have been through the experience yourself because it's a very complex issue. It could take 1,000,000 a year to discuss all the little details that goes along with being a narcissist and dealing with the narcissist.
So since you've been to counseling for the healing of your father, how has that worked with you?
I feel like that was a really good decision to go to therapy. I was lucky that the first therapist I saw, she had dealt with narcissists. She dealt with abusive men, some narcissists. She had 30 years in that area. And I didn't go to therapy for my relationship. I went to therapy for my dad, but then I realized that it was no way to, the two were connected. And so...
You said it was no way that they were?
That they were not.
Yeah,
they were connected. Yeah. If I'm going to address if I'm going to address the situation with my dad, my relationship is going to come up. The two are intertwined. Yeah. They go together. And so we were just talking about just regular stuff, issues to address the issues with my dad, and it just came up one day, and I just said something random about my mate, and she was just like. And, because these were all red flags, and I had noticed it, just stuff he did very earlier on,
So why did you start noticing the red flag? Within the years?
year 10 or 15.
Oh
Wow.
shit.
Yes. I mean, I knew that he wasn't perfect. I knew the relationship wasn't right. I knew that he was doing some things I didn't like, but I didn't realize what a bigger issue that it was. You know, like I think very earlier on, I think and this was a red flag to the therapist I was seeing. He like took something and the phone, and I just got him the phone and he threw it on the wall. He had 2 phones. One was a business phone. One phone pierced the wall, the other one didn't, but it was right over my head. And so anyway, to make a long story short, very earlier on, I think some things happened to make me scared. So it's in other words, very earlier on I learned, don't push him to a certain point. So when it was like an argument or something happened, I'd be like, okay, just leave it alone, let him walk away, don't push it. So it's like he created like can't think of the word, but he kind of,
It's a certain type of argument because that happened to me.
He created like a foundation as far as how he wants stuff to be, and I didn't want to trigger him because I was scared of what he doing. And he would constantly threaten to leave. It got to the point where he threatened to leave, and he threw the ring, and even go get the suitcase.
But he never went to go file for the divorce.
No, just to get compliance.
Yeah. I thought with all this going on in the back and
Right,
forth, like
his goal was to get me to be compliant with what he wanted me to do, because I was being defiant, or it was just like, oh, you'd be nothing without me. Like I do this for you, that for you. You know, financially, you'd be nothing without me. Just in general, I'd be nothing to do without
all
you.
He's
physical
on some
things.
color purple shit.
Huh?
He's on some color purple
Right,
shit.
like just emotional, just all mostly like emotional stuff. And he was never.
So what?
So you go ahead.
He was never like, I think, and what triggered me, I mean, I went to therapy, like I said, I noticed something was right and I was trying to work on it, but what triggered leaving me, like I separated from him twice before I actually left, was when he, like I said, I pushed back, was when he, I guess, according to him, it wasn't being abusive when he put his hands on me, but it was unprovoked, like it was over something that wasn't rational, something you don't get upset over.
Right.
So he was on some
I
bullshit.
just said something under my breath because he would
So I
have
gotta-
something, and he did something that was way bigger than the 1 minute it would have took him to help me, and I was just kind of like, the time he spent doing that, you could have helped me, and he just like cornered me in the bathroom, just blocked me in, and led to a big argument, which didn't make any sense because I'm like, what are we arguing over? And I'm like, I just got to the point where it escalated so much, I felt scared, and I'm like, I refuse to talk to you until you calm down.
Right.
And he just kept yelling, and then at some point, he grabbed me towards him and he pushed me against the wall. And according to him, that wasn't abuse, but to me, that's the beginning stages of abuse. And as a professional, I knew better, so I packed my shit when he was at work and I left. That was the first thing.
because that was
So- So I got a question. So how long was he throwing things in the relationship? Like niggas really throw shit? Like I didn't know that.
Throwing things. I was submissive. I just learned to do whatever he wanted to
But
do.
the phone was the first time he stole.
The phone was.
The phone was the first time, yeah.
And he threw things quite often? Like niggas.
He would just threaten to leave. That was his favorite thing. He would just threaten
Okay,
to leave.
okay.
Just say, I'm
Just for
leaving,
you to go to
get the
client.
suitcase,
My second question.
throw his ring.
Was his dad in his life?
Yeah,
I mean, I think and that too, like I said, it's a lot of factors that go into it because he had a problematic relationship with his dad.
There you go.
Right.
So his daddy really
So,
got his
right,
phone.
right.
Because niggas don't throw shit. I'm sorry.
His dad was in
Yeah.
his dad was in
What
his
they
life. His dad was in his
But
life.
always being there, just because you're there don't mean you know what you're supposed to do.
Right.
I know a lot of people whose dad was there,
Right.
but he wasn't fucking there.
What about his mom?
His mom was there. His mom was there. Yes, his mom was there. She was like the stay-at-home mom. I think she stayed at home until all the kids were grown. Dad was the breadwinner, and I mean, he was there.
So
but-
she was like a homemaker.
Yeah, but it was
Right.
problematic because I think at some point the dad tried to set the house on fire with the kid, you know.
Yeah, see, the dad was there, but he wasn't
So
there.
he with his
So-
second family.
Right.
He was
There you
there.
go. So he was on
It was
bullshit.
problematic.
Yeah.
Right. So nobody got hurt, but you know,
Where's my
yeah.
son?
Go ahead, bro.
Damn.
But it was
So-
yeah,
Well, good, nobody got hurt.
right.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, if you listen to what she said and how her ex-husband,
Yeah.
Yes.
how he was raised, what he saw. He saw his father being a breadwinner.
Right.
He saw his mom being submissive and did whatever she had to do.
That's what he wanted.
So you
That's
basically
what you want.
covered what you
Right.
said.
Okay,
But then we also gotta understand, you said something earlier, go back to it, a lot of folks get it messed up. The difference between knowing what controlling and having the structure is.
Right.
Right.
See, a lot of folks, they don't make it that confused.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a lot of folks say, he's controlling. How is he controlling? Well, he wants me to do this, not keep you out of this one. All right. He wants me to do this when we do that. No, he wants structure.
Exactly.
It's
Okay, so-
structure.
So structure and
And but-
controlling.
It's yes.
So structure. Okay, I want
They are two
I know,
different
they're two
things.
different
Can I
things.
chime in? Okay.
So what is controlling? So we can sort of audience know what controlling is.
Don't move until I tell you to move.
Okay.
Don't get up and do this, do that.
Take that sweater off.
Okay.
But if you know that man is about structure, when you know at 7:30 when he gets off work,
Dinner is supposed to be.
dinner is supposed to be made on the table. 9:39, 10 o'clock, however the kid's supposed to be in the bed.
Right.
Okay.
When you get up in the morning, the bed's supposed to be made before you leave out the room. There's certain structure to doing things like that.
I'm not making no bed.
You know?
Okay.
Can I ask your example on something and you tell me if it's controlling or not? So, if say for example has a problem with me walking, your mate have a problem with you walking 2 minutes to church, or having a personal trainer, not even a personal trainer, going to the gym because the guy, the person conducting the session, I said it's not a personal trainer because it's a group of people, or things like that. So is that controlling if you're restricted from doing normal things that wouldn't cause harm to the relationship, just regular things?
That's insecurities.
No.
Well,
no.
yeah,
So
You're right. Sorry, my bad.
with the context that you gave, because I pretty much showed us more to it, but walking to church 2 minutes away, that's his provision over you. Security. Hey, I want you to walk. I'd rather drive you off while I walk with you.
No, it's more in the context of I don't know what you're doing when you walk to church kind of context, or I don't want you to go to the boxing class because the instructor is a guy. So it's like
Yeah, it's insecurity.
it's insecurity, but it's just like at one point do it kind of draw the line of control, because it's just like if you're insecure, then you can
You're going to
control
control it. Yep.
what the person do. You control what, like, I see what you're saying, like you require a certain level of structure as a guy, then that's kind of okay. But at what point do you draw the line when it becomes control? Because in hindsight, you have two people that get together. You're your own person and this person is their own person. Each people accept each other as they are, and you come together and you make compromises and stuff so stuff could work. But at the same time, it's not your job to tell your girlfriend how to dress and how to do certain things, just like it's not her job. Certain things you could come to a compromise and an agreement on. So it's kind of like, for example, I feel like if you're saying, okay, you need to dress a certain way, or dinner needs to be ready at a certain time, or you can't do this, or you can't do that, or you can't go there and you can't do that. That's like a certain, I understand if like the person is doing something wrong or that could harm the relationship, I get that. I do agree that you have to come to some kind of agreement on things. You can't just do whatever you want to do. But when it's to the point where your movement is restricted, your actions are restricted, what you wear is restricted, what you're allowed to do is restricted, I feel like there's some level of control there.
Okay, so
Definitely.
whatever that woman or man wears out in public is representative of their partner.
But how about when you're wearing something that's appropriate? Like you're wearing a dress,
That's
it's
appropriate.
right,
Yeah.
but maybe I have a little, not a much, but just a little bit the cleavage out, and that's an
Yeah.
issue. Well, that's
Nothing
control
wrong
to
with
me
that.
because there's nothing wrong with it. It's a classy outfit. It's just, okay, I like to be a little sexy classy, but it's
Yeah.
not disrespecting my mate because I'm still fully covered. I just want to show, I just want to be a little sexy. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. So I feel like if it's reasonable, then it makes sense, but it's an unreasonable amount.
So to you, I understand what you just said.
But to him,
You wanna
it's
be-
being
You want to be
disrespectful.
sexy to the world. You want to go out in the world and show them that you feeling sexy. But that's your husband. That's your
He
man.
feel like that's disrespect.
That's what.
So-
in his mind, that is just.
So what if you're going to a nice dinner with him?
Then that's different.
Right, but
That's
right.
different.
And
You
you
get it.
put on a nice little dress for his birthday and you want to look cute for him.
Right, I get that. Now that's
Right.
different because you're doing it with him. But
Right.
also, I hope he can fight because you do have guys out there that's being very disrespectful at the same time.
But that's the idea of why you're doing it with what you said about when you get to that point, it is something else. I agree. By the time it gets to that point, you probably don't know what that thing is, but it's something that triggers that behavior. But then it's kind of like, well, and I get that, but it's just like if you're in a relationship, aren't you supposed to communicate that to the person? It's just like if
I was just not to cut you off, but I was going to ask you that before you got dressed. Did you say, "Hey, how do I look in this dress?" Or so he already know ahead of time this is what you're putting on. I'm just a question to ask.
Right. No, because I feel like, okay, we're going together. He saw what I was wearing when I left the house. So if he had an issue with it, he could have been like, hey, I don't think that dress you're wearing is appropriate.
So let me say this though. If you've been dealing with somebody for that long, you should already know what the person like or don't like. And even in the beginning of the situation or relationship, and y'all start dating or whatever, this person already kind of see how you're dressing.
Right.
Exactly.
So how does it become an issue?
Exactly.
Right.
Years later.
On top of that,
How do it become an issue years
You
later?
know, like usually you find this is if you look at this both ways. You usually meet somebody that dresses wholesome, and she gets with a man, and he say, "Hey, baby, I want you to start dressing a little sexier," right? Or if it's the opposite way, you get with her and she's dressing sexy, and then as they start to come further along the relationship, all right, baby, I need you to tone that down a little.
See, and hold on, that's why I don't get to understand it. If you meet her
That way.
and she's looking like
And you
that,
accepted it.
then why 10 years or 15 years later
Why
you
change?
have a situation? Because now I don't like the way she dressed like
Right.
that. But you met her like that.
That's
You met the
right.
wholesome lady like that.
You also got to realize too, when you met her, she's in her 20s, so she dressed like a 20-year-old. When you get in your 30s, you have to dress. You can still dress sexy.
But that's growing until you're a woman. Yeah,
Dress like a 30-year-old.
right.
Same as a 40. So don't try to be 40 years old and dressing like
Like you
20.
20. I
See,
get
that is the issue that majority of
So-
women, if you run into.
Is that a mindset?
true indeed.
Like, once you sit down and talk to a person, you kind of see what their mindset is at,
Yeah,
and knowing that they're like the type of the
But I'm gonna take it a step further because I've been married before. Y'all share the same goddamn closet, nigga. You see what the fuck is in that closet?
Right.
Well, you see where she go shopping. You see what she's putting in that
Not
motherfucker.
necessarily.
How the fuck not?
Because
You ain't paying attention like you said earlier. You ain't paying attention.
Yeah,
Every time my wife went shopping, I saw what she was putting in that goddamn closet.
Depends on,
And I knew if I was gonna disagree with her or agree with it.
It depends on the house. Your closet can be in this room, her closet can be in that room. And if you a man that's working on the grind and you working 12 to 16 hours a day, it's easy for her to slip something in.
So what's inappropriate dressing as a woman for you all men up here? What's inappropriate dressing for a woman that's your mate?
Too much skin.
So can she have pants on and I'm gonna say a tank top here? That's good skin. Now if she have booty shorts on and tank top on, that's too much skin.
Too much skin.
Okay, so either
Too much
or.
skin.
What about you?
Well, you know, we talking.
Because we have shape.
Oh.
Sometimes women can be very shapely, but women can be very shapely, and her shape.
She can have a tank top on, booty short, but see what you got on?
Right.
You got that uncovering it.
Okay.
So it depends on how you dress it.
How you present it.
If you can dress something to be classy, or you can dress something to be trashy.
Okay.
And you know that. Y'all women, y'all know this. Y'all know when y'all get in that mirror and y'all
We
get
can know
dressed.
this, but I want to know when y'all.
But again, a
So-
woman know when she get dressed and she stand in front of that mirror and she's doing everything she need to do.
So say if a woman had a bra on and she had on a bodysuit that was sheer, and y'all was out. Is that inappropriate?
We together?
Yeah.
We good. Now
Can she do it without you?
Heck no. Why?
But you know what type of woman she is. You know she
I
ain't
know
Luke
what type of
Duke.
woman she is, but do
What?
Luke
Yeah.
and Duke know what type of woman she is?
Not Luke and Duke.
So,
I'm saying.
so here, wait.
Okay.
Wait.
Luke and Duke.
Dukes of Hazzard. Come on. Look and do
I'm
it.
just saying.
Wait.
Do they know?
So wait a minute. So here's my thing. What's the difference between if you with her and not with her? That's what I want to know.
My provision.
Because she still should maintain the same
So-
respect.
Okay.
The only reason why I'm asking, this is the only reason why I'm asking. The type of woman, you have to understand the type of woman that you like you said you said before. You gotta understand the type of woman. Whether she got that on, whether she with you or whether she not with you. In a certain way, she's still gonna be who she is.
Yeah.
Cause I promise you,
I agree, but
I have definitely went places. And I'm gonna be real with you, because I'm a big nigga. If I see a chick and she with a big nigga, I know you like big niggas, so I'm gonna wink at you while you with that nigga. As soon as that nigga get up and go to the bathroom, go to the bar, whatever the fuck, I'm gonna walk past and slide you the number.
Boy, that's
Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work.
Taurus for you.
You understand? Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work.
you live in
So,
dangerous.
hey, but again, I can honestly
But
say
that's the type
it.
of woman that is. So you can't
There you
be
go.
mad at her. You can't
There
be
you
mad at
go.
her when
So she gonna do what she gonna do what she gonna do whether she with you if she dressing like that.
Let me say this.
So but just but what I'm saying is just because she dressed like that and she with you, nigga, that don't mean shit.
So now understand this though.
Wow.
Now,
So-
if you see that dude out with her, and you know how he's dressed, how she dressed, how the guy that he's carried that aura, 9 times out of 10 you're not gonna do that. See, you
No, I picked right. That's what I said. I picked that one.
Yeah.
Somebody that was dressed like her, I ain't gonna fuck with her because okay, she cool. But she dressed hoochified and she with you because you like it's cool. Right. Because you think it's cool because she with me. Nigga, no the fuck it ain't cool.
But see, there.
Just because she with you don't mean nothing. That's all I'm saying. Don't mean
It don't
nothing.
mean nothing. But again, if you see that type of man that she's with,
Mm-hmm.
you know as a man, I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna try that nigga.
You know, I don't give a fuck about the nigga.
Listen to what
I'm talking about the woman.
Listen to what I'm
I'm
telling you.
talking about how she dressed.
Because you got some guys that'll crash out.
Show the fuck with.
Understand that. So again, a man.
I never roll alone.
Listen, a man.
I never roll alone, nigga.
You're
So
never
I don't
not
give a
taking
shit.
responsibility.
Listen
I
to
don't
what
give
I'm
a
saying,
shit. I don't
though.
give a
So
shit.
why even put yourself in that predicament? It's a
I mean,
million women out there.
hey, everybody got a past, man. You understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I understand that, but it's a million women
My
out there.
past. I'm older now, so I ain't gonna do this shit now. But I'm just telling you, I never rode alone. That's part one. And part two, it wasn't about the dude. It was about the chick. Because if I peeped the chick, like I said, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. Sometimes I said, no, that sounded disrespectful. I'm with my man, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I left it at that. But some chicks,
If you got that number though,
you understand what I'm saying?
Okay,
And I got the call same day the next day.
you got
But
that.
just know that
you got
she gonna
that
do you
number.
like that too.
There you go.
She gonna do you like that too.
I'm not trying to wife her. 4 F's. Classic case
Okay,
right
what
there.
you about to say, Rico?
4 F's.
What you about to say?
You was about to say something like
I'm just watching too. But I'm just thinking though, it's not the idea of going through the dating process. Like he's saying, okay, what do you expect the woman to dress like and all this stuff? But that's the idea of going through the dating process. Aren't you supposed to decide what kind of woman you want? So basically, by the time you marry that woman or decide you want to be in a serious relationship with that woman, you should be comfortable with the way she dresses and the things that she does. Because if if you choose the person that you want to be with, then when you get with them, you won't have to try to change all these things about them.
That's right.
That's why a lot of relationships don't work, because it's just like you don't accept the person that you're in a relationship the way they are. Yes, I understand you have to make compromises and certain things you might have to do differently, but in general, I feel like that's why the dating process is there, for you to kind of screen that person out to decide
Right.
if it's a good fit for you. So don't pick the woman that dress provocatively. If you know you don't like a woman that dress provocatively, you pick the woman that dress
what
the way
you like.
want
Yeah.
them to dress.
Yeah.
What you want to see a woman in a
Yeah.
relationship. Like, for example, in my marriage, I was a conservative person. I mean, I'm not in a relationship now, so my style is still classic, but maybe a little bit sexier. But and that's why the dress thing kind of
Definitely
threw me
looks
off, because
Yeah,
my
look
thing
today.
was he liked big underwears. I had to throw my thumbs out. And I was a conservative
What's
dresser,
like
right?
like
So
big
the only time that I was a little sexy was when I was with him. So that's why it's a smoke screen. Like, I'm a classy person. I'm not out here with my ass hanging out, my back and everything hanging out.
Right.
So if I put on a nice little sexy classy dress for your birthday, why is it
You
an
should
issue?
accept it.
It's something that I've
Right.
been doing. He knows this. I only dress a little bit sexy when I'm with him. But that's why I said the behavior switches, because this wasn't a problem before if I dressed like that with you. But today, it's a
but not,
problem.
yeah, okay.
Even
okay.
though what I was
Yep.
wearing was appropriate
I don't
for the occasion.
Right.
I don't know who Dog is, but I'm just knowing if he happen to see this, who the fuck likes big draws? Like, where the fuck did you grow up that you like big draws?
Right.
Look,
Maybe he's
no
What the fuck is going on?
maybe his mama will be.
That's what I was about to say. Maybe
That's
it's
fucking disgusting.
childhood that made him become
So,
the
My
person.
mama had big draws, so I want my wife to have big draws.
It's habit doing.
Because people covet what they see.
Changing
I
the
get
relationship.
He said, what's the name?
He said changing the relationship a bad thing.
Change the relationship.
So changing the relationship is not a bad thing if both people agree to the change. But if the change is forced, that's when
it's different.
That's when it gets to be where that control kicks in. You know, like I said, if it's an egregious, of course, that's not control or being manipulative or whatever. But if it's just like, okay, it is required for this relationship to continue, then that's a problem. Because when you met me, you knew that I was this way, so now it's suddenly a problem, and you're telling me that if I don't make these changes, you're gonna yell at me, scream at me, and hit me upside my head over it, then that's an issue. That's when it becomes a problem right there.
Change is good with
That's
change
control.
is good. That's what she was saying. Change is good individually, because I feel like 30, 40, 50 you're supposed to change as you grow.
Change the relationship. Now, some people, y'all said, it's a good thing. I feel like I feel like it depends.
Or bad thing.
I feel like it's both. It could be both.
Right.
It could be both because sometimes when you change it for a specific person, you can lose yourself. Again, because I've been there. You understand what I'm saying? So like I lost myself trying to make sure this person was happy, and it was just like, I'm not saying that I wasn't receiving, but it wasn't enough to match what I was putting out.
See, you put your own happiness. You better bring
Sorry, you said what?
your own happiness.
Now that's where it's supposed to start at.
Your own
Your
happiness.
change comes.
No,
from
no,
yourself
no.
first.
I was happy with myself. I wasn't happy within the relationship.
But you were trying to make
You see what I'm
said like
saying?
you was trying to make her happy. Like
Right.
her happy, like my happiness is decorating or doing hair or doing it. This is my happy. This is what
Uh-huh.
makes me happy in the
Right.
relationship as a person.
As
So
a
then I
person.
can just give
But what
you
makes you happy in a relationship? It's a
what
difference.
the person is giving and what,
Exactly.
what the foundation is. And what makes
Exactly.
them happy.
Exactly. So it's different.
So what kind of happiness was you giving her that you were stressed out that you
Is it
wasn't giving?
unconditional or conditional? I'm not just
The happiness is unconditional or conditional.
because you got to think about it. It's a difference between love and conditional and love and unconditional.
Unconditional is I'm love you no matter what.
But in a lot of cases, it's a lot of conditional love.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Mhm.
I'm only gonna love you because of this, and that.
If you don't do this for me, so I mean, you don't do what I want you to do, I'm not gonna do this. Or that word feel
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not gonna do this for you because I don't think you love me the way I want you to love me.
Right.
It's a condition behind it.
Dang, I never dealt with that.
Yeah, you have to think about
I never dealt with that.
I never dealt with the conditional shit. No.
Yeah, I just loved you because I loved you. You
Right.
drink too much, you turn up the well. Give me a drink too much.
it. So
You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, it's something to be aware of now. So it's,
Yeah.
you start kicking with folks or being in a relationship with folks. It's a conditional.
because I feel like in
Yeah,
order
but
for you to
But as men, we more unconditional. Because we gonna love you and do for you regardless.
Regardless.
I think that I think part of the problem is it's just like that's why they say work on yourself before you get into a relationship. So you get into a relationship and you have issues and you have problems, stuff that you need to work on. And so you get into this relationship and you have these like really unrealistic expectations. So now you expect your partner to provide all these things that you're lacking, these things that you need to work on.
which they
within
might think is
yourself.
happiness.
Right.
Right.
So I think in hindsight, that's the idea that you have to work on yourself. So you go in a relationship and you're a team and you're also an individual, and that's why you get lost in the whole team thing because you weren't a full individual. You weren't individual before. You weren't an individual, but you were an individual that had scars and things that you needed to work on. So I think in hindsight that you get rid of a lot of the issues if you work on yourself first. So when you go in a relationship, you're very sure about yourself. You're very sure about what you want for yourself. So it's like, it's nice to have that partner. You can work together and you can build and make something greater. But with the absence of that partner to help you, you could still stand on your own.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you got to be able to stand strong on your own. And I think that alleviates a lot of the issues. But I see what he's saying. He's right, because it's just like, to me, love that is conditioned, to me, it might just throw it in the trash. Because
Yeah.
if you only love me, people change and evolve over time. So if you're trying to be in a long-term relationship, it's just basically when I change, you're not going to love me anymore. So is that really love?
No,
Not really.
no, I don't think so. That's why I said, yeah.
It's not love at all.
You
That's
gonna drink,
bullshit.
You gonna drink, you know, I don't know.
Right. I don't.
Yeah,
So I'm sorry. Where are you from again? Because I love your accent. Where you from?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
The little highland of Jamaica.
That's what I'm from. Jamaica in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Flash.
I ain't got no flag on it. I'm just happy she's from Jamaica.
But yeah, change is good, but unconditional love is the best. That's how grandparents and stuff had a long lasting relationship because they loved each other regardless of whatever was going on. However,
Regardless.
yeah, regardless. But I'm gonna say that some things just, it's just not right. You just gotta depart, because if you're not a happy individual and then I'm not a happy individual and then we together, then we're gonna constantly clash. And then if I'm a happy individual and then you not a happy individual, we still gonna clash because you
Right.
it's no balance there.
I think that's why
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's important that you work on yourself before you get in a relationship. Because if you're comfortable with where you are as a person, then you're going to be an easier person to work with. So that's not the way it works. But ideally that's how it would work. That both people would work on themselves and be in a comfortable place when they get in a relationship. Because if you're comfortable with yourself, it's going to be easier for you to compromise. You're going to be more open to suggestion when something in the relationship maybe needs to change and stuff like that.
Right.
You're going to take constructive criticism a little bit better and be able to differentiate better what's negative or positive
in a
behavior.
relationship is good, especially if it's going to be for
Right,
your
because I
growth.
think sometimes even though you have narcissists and we have people who have negative behavior, it's also behavior like he kind of mentioned earlier that some behaviors that might seem negative are meant to be negative. They're meant to improve the relationship. But if you're not in a good space,
So you're gonna
not
receive it
gonna
as
receive
negative.
it appropriately.
Yeah.
You're gonna receive it as negative.
I like being in a relationship, and like we was talking about the dress that time. Keeping it real. We talking about the dress on the second episode, and he was like, "Well, I like this one, and I can see why he liked that one. So I can say, okay, I'll look better with this dress instead of one that I feel like I look nice in and stuff like that. So I don't see anything wrong with your partner saying anything about how you dress or giving you advice on changing and growth within yourself. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I think like with the dressing thing, it depends. It depends on how he goes about it. Like if I'm sitting there and I'm trying to pick something to go out and it's like, okay, you ask for his help and he's helping me pick something out. Do you think this look nice? Do you think I should wear the shirt? Do you think I should wear something else? Now that's a little bit differently. But if you're asking his input because you're worried about how he might receive what you're
Right.
dressing like, he
Yeah.
might think it's inappropriate, then I think it's from because like I said, going into the relationship, he knows how you like to dress, and he should have made peace with that. Either he likes it or he don't. That's something that should be addressed before you go into the relationship. So I don't think he should be telling you what to wear because it should already have been an understanding before you entered into a serious relationship. But it's okay to help him pick your outfit out.
So, Wiley, piggybacking off what she said. So, if you're in a relationship and she has something and you don't like it, how do you approach that? Do you say, I don't like that dress, or how do you approach it?
Man, take that shit off.
Thank you.
You would say just that?
If you don't like it because you don't. Yeah.
Take that shit off.
You're not walking. Look, you look beautiful in it, but I need you to go back upstairs, put on something appropriate to walk out this door to represent me. I'm not with you.
So you would say that part or the first part? Go take that shit
What
off.
I just said.
Okay, right there.
Well, we wouldn't be going nowhere. I'd be like, fuck that shit. You could go by yourself.
No,
No,
he said when you going by yourself.
you going.
No,
That's what he was saying.
Oh, when I'm going by myself.
Right.
By yourself.
Right, you going by yourself.
And we're
Okay.
together.
Right.
Okay.
You
Well, yeah,
understand?
none of it's, yeah. Well, okay.
Now, and,
So
that, and
what
that's
would
still,
you-
and that's
yeah.
still, not to cut you off again, but that's still a thin line too, because you still have to understand, even though you want to wear something sexy and provocative, it's still a certain extent that you can go.
I think we were talking about the way that you express
Right.
it to her, not necessarily the outfit, but how would you express
Right.
it for her to be more responsive to it in a positive way? Because I think sometimes we can be, like you said, sentimental, soft,
About
and
delivery.
stuff like that, and it's all about delivery. Because you can change a person in the way you want them to be if you are graceful about it. Because I know when I was in a relationship and he wasn't doing the things that I wanted him to do, so I had to do it. I had to do what I hope I say so.
Yeah,
I had to do, I had to be an example and do the things that I wanted him to do for me.
correct.
And I did it, and I noticed that he reciprocated it, and he started doing that. And I said, oh, this worked. So verbally trying to change the man didn't work because you need this, he wasn't hearing that. But when I started, okay, here go the car, put a little card over here or do a little adjustment or do these things, and he took heed to that, and he started doing it too. So we were just basically saying, you can change your mate, but it's all about the delivery of delivering it to the person to make them accept it as, oh, this is a good change.
Sometimes when you're in a relationship, you still got to run that game on your woman.
Yeah.
Don't
you
get it
have to
twisted.
run the game on me.
Sometimes you still got to run that game on it. You got to run the smooth words by it and be like, hey, bitch. No, let me.
But what you doing anyway, and subliminally, people don't understand this.
Mhm.
You are training your mate.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
You are training
For sure.
your mate.
For sure.
I think
But
that
even a dog pees on the carpet.
for example, if you were in a relationship with somebody,
He said,
and say maybe,
after you teach him.
Yeah,
Right.
after you talk.
so I feel like if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're used to them dressing more classy and stuff like that, you're fine with the way she's dressing. But maybe after you've been in the relationship for a while, she switch it up. So now she wearing she's dressing a little bit more provocatively. Well, I feel like from a lady's perspective, I would appreciate it if you said, you know what, honey, I just noticed that you've been dressing a little bit differently, a little bit more sexy, and it makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I would be receptive of that.
Yeah.
But if you kind of came at me kind of negatively, like he said, go take that shit off, or what the fuck do you
Right.
think you're
So that's gonna start a argument.
I'd be like, yeah, I'm really gonna leave now, and I'm really gonna find another outfit that pisses you off even more, because now you think you can tell me what I could wear. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna wear. So I feel like the way you deliver it makes a big difference.
So respectfully, again, now you didn't change the wardrobe, just not you per se.
Right.
In general.
And in general,
Right. It's
when a
Generalize.
woman
generalize.
does that, it would be nice for her to say to her man, I'm thinking about having a wardrobe change. So what do you think about this? Stops everything up front. You can be sexy, but okay, let's go shopping together. I want to see you try that on. Let me see how it looks before we buy it, or I buy it. You get what I'm saying? So now when it comes home, it's already official.
But it depends on the man though. He might not be into all. I mean,
I
everybody's
ain't
different.
going
He might
shopping.
not be into all that. He might not want to go shopping with you. He might not want to be bothered with the whole selection process. But at the same time, but I just feel like I'm about to have a wardrobe change. Can you come shopping with me so you can make sure you're whatever with it? I don't know, because I feel like 9 times out of 10, if you got a classy woman, she's gonna keep on being classy. And if you're trashy, you're gonna keep on being
Right.
trashy. So the chances of the woman flipping her closet is very
very
slim. Unless she's about to cheat on you or something, and she got something else going on, and she's trying to please somebody else or something. Maybe the new guy likes something different. So I could see if she just switch up and start dressing sexy, then maybe that's kind of like a red flag. Like what the heck? Like you just came into an era where you want to be sexier, or is it something else going on? I could get that concern.
I mean, that's what I was going at. Because
Right.
you think about it, as you said, all of a sudden I'm dressing a certain way, and then boom, I want to go dress this way. And again, most men don't check closets. Most men don't go shopping. So to see you pop up on it like a case of, go back to the movie of, what is it, Why Did I Get Married?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
You remember the scene when she wasn't wearing, she started wearing sexy
Yeah,
clothes, all that
yeah,
type of stuff,
yeah.
out of the blue,
Right.
right? Most men don't pay attention. Women love for a man to pay attention.
Like you said, run that game. Run that
You know what I'm
game.
saying? So if you decide that it's okay to dress sexy, but to prevent the further down the line damage of him getting upset, or y'all going back and forth and he's saying, baby, I don't want you to wear that, this is what I'm about to do.
Right, in my case, he knew
But
what
it's
was in the
like-
closet. Like at first he would do the shopping thing, but later on he wouldn't. But when this stuff come home, he'd be like, I noticed you got some new dress in the closet. Yeah, I had all sorts of lie to tell about the sale that they were on too. But yeah.
I got this too fast.
So like you
I
said,
had to
you
get
know what's in the closet.
I had to get
You
it.
should have addressed it then. Like now you have a problem with it that I wear, but you saw it when you came home. So what's the issue now?
When you
Fuck
know,
them lions.
everything look good on the rack. Until
It may not look
So you
good
put it
on
on.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
You put it on. And you like, oh shit, take that off.
You know, that size medium dress or size extra large, or whatever size it is, look good on a mannequin. But then you put it on and you got a little extra junk, because our cultural women are very curvy.
So, what is a good way to walk away from a narcissistic person? What's a good way to like discontinue this?
Pack your shit.
Well, but in the sense for you not to be,
Okay, so when you're in a relationship like that, for one, you don't want the person to let them know you're getting under your skin. So don't respond to it, because a person that's having negative behavior, they want you to respond to it. But I would say the way to leave a narcissist is very safely. Put a little reminder card in your car or something, steps to take. It depends on whether or not you're in a verbally, emotionally, or physically. It don't matter, whichever one could become physical. But I think it's good to have a plan. So to leave a narcissist, okay, because of course with any narcissist, it could get to the point where it's physical. You have a plan. So if it gets to the point where you feel like you're in a dangerous situation, so maybe because the behavior is going to escalate. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, over time, the behavior is going to escalate and escalate and escalate. Especially if you're not submissive. If you're submissive, it's a little better. So a good plan, if you get to the point where you're like, I'm not in a safe situation, I really need to leave.
Yeah.
put a bag in your trunk. He doesn't know it's there. Put it in a place in the trunk, because the trunk is most trunks are a little tinted.
Junkie.
Right.
Put it somewhere he can't see. Put an outfit. Put some toiletries. So you need a plan. So if something should happen where I'm not safe, I need to have everything. So
First to get out.
Absolutely, save some money secretly. Have yourself set up so you have a plan B. If something happened, I have somebody you could stay with, a place you could go to, and that kind of stuff. But it's like, it's not easy to leave a narcissist, because if somebody is controlling or somebody's emotionally and verbally abusive, they can become physical. So the more you irritate them, the more you upset them, the more the behavior escalates. So you want to go about it like in a safe way. So I don't think it's any easy way to leave a narcissist. I think you need a lot of planning. You need to think about the pros and the cons. Think about like, how can I safely leave? Like,
Okay, so you can go.
how you could safely leave.
So they go right back to one time you was on and you was talking about how people are in abusive relationships and it's not as hard to leave. But like she said,
Exactly.
It is hard.
if you do have a plan, you have to have a plan.
So when
No,
I
I said it was hard to leave.
That's what I'm saying. But
Because-
I'm saying put you back on person.
So when I left, I thought it was going to be an issue. I thought that I was going to have to call the police and I was going to have a limited amount of time to get myself. So it took a while. I wanted to save a certain amount of money because I wanted to make sure that I could afford to leave. Because I felt like I was separated from him for 9 months and I went back. And I'm like, it was financially devastating. I'm like, I do not want to end up in this situation again. So I need to make sure that I had enough money to first and last month, have some money saved. So that's great planning. So he didn't realize I was kind of stashing a little bit of money there. It took a year. And so then I was thinking, how can I safely leave? And I'm thinking, if the police got to come for me to get my stuff out, I'm not going to be able to get enough of my stuff because they're not going to stay there all day for me to get my stuff. And I kept on thinking a different scenario. Maybe I could get like a male relative to come by and help me. Different scenario as to how I could safely leave. Lucky for me, I was able to leave safely. It turned out way better than I thought it would. But in my head, because of his behaviors or what I'm used to,
Yeah.
I'm just like, if I try to leave, he's going to try to stop me. It's going to become physical. It's just going to be a big mess,
Right.
which it wasn't. But it's just like, it took me years to get to the point where I actually leave because I'm like, I just felt like I invested so many years. I didn't want to leave with nothing. I didn't want to, and I didn't want to put myself in a safety situation. So it's like, it's really hard to leave, like I said, because being with a narcissist is an abusive situation. Like I said, emotional and verbal is just as bad as physical. It's just less proof of it. And so, yeah, so it's a very difficult situation because you never know like how that person is going to respond if you try to leave. And then in my case, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm
In my case, it got to the point where I think I was being tracked. Like he would like show up to places that he shouldn't know I was at or know where I was at.
You have a car tracker on you? The car
I didn't I checked the car. I had to have somebody check the car. I had to have a mechanic check the car. I done went up under the car. I done looked in the car. I had somebody told me how to check the car for a tracker. His phone was on my plan. I had to take his phone off my plan because I'm like, you could track with the phone.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, dealing with somebody like that is very, very tricky. So now my problem is, if I leave, can I safely leave without being followed? Because now I don't want this person to know where I live at because I'm in an unhealthy situation. And when I did move, I was scared.
And that's that fear I was
My friend
referring
gave
to.
me alarms for my windows and my doors. I now have a license to carry. I don't have the gun yet.
There we
I have the license.
Lock that nigga.
Just a money thing though.
That's a nigga. That's a nigga need to be popped.
So
I'm
it's
sorry.
just like for when I moved, it was just like this fear because I was scared that he was gonna come after me. But it's not just dealing with it. You have to deal with it when you're in it. And you have to deal with the aftermath, and it's just like now I'm in a good place. But it took like months for me to get to the point where I'm just like, okay, you're saying little stuff will happen. Like I would see stuff on my patio, and I'd be like thinking, okay, was he over here? Just like really paranoid about like safety stuff, and it's just like.
So do you think it might be good for a person that is trying to leave an abusive relationship to move out of state? Do you think it should be a little bit better?
I think it depends on the situation, of course. But I think you can move out of state, you can move anywhere, but it's just like if you're not careful about how you do it, if you do it in a manner that you could know where you're staying, because it's like you can't. If you're gonna move out of state, you're gonna tell your kids you have together, or you're gonna tell family members. Like you could still find out. My ex know where I live at. I have no idea how we know. I'm not scared of him anymore, so I don't care.
Pop that.
But it's just like that's what I'm saying. So it's kind of like
Trying to
it's
tell
not
you.
that hard for somebody to figure out where you stay at if they know your connections. You could go online and pay money to
Your social
get
security
it for
number?
free, or you could pay
Yeah.
and find out more information. So I mean, moving out of state to me, it's like in a lot of cases, it's not going to make a big difference unless you go about it a certain way. You have to take a lot of steps, and that's going to take you isolating yourself from the people that he knows and a whole bunch of stuff. So moving out of state, it's like, I don't know if it's it depends. It could be worth it, but it's just a lot that goes into it. If you could safely do it without him finding out, yes, it could be a good idea, but I just think it's just like,
You got the plan, like you said. You just
right,
have
a
to plan.
plan. Like with me, it's just like I'm not scared. So I moved and I was scared, but now I'm not scared. Okay, because I just had to get to the point where I kind of work on the whatever fears I had, kind of work on that situation.
Right.
It's just like what I did.
Mhm.
And it's just like in a society where you don't want to have a gun, but when everybody have a gun, what are you gonna do?
You gotta get a
So just
gun.
take
Pop
steps
it
like
first.
that.
You bring no knife to a gunfight.
Putting your CPL, putting alarms on your door, just taking steps. Just be careful. I sleep with something by my bed. I'm like, you come in, you're gonna be tough because I'm gonna knock the shit out
He
of you.
said, "Boss."
Right. So
But men can be abused too.
Now, you
And not
said-
just women, but
you
men
said
can be
something.
abused as well.
You said something on a positive note, and I think, no, we're gonna go a little further back, and it's a word that majority of women, they get triggered by. You said something submissive.
Yeah.
So, for the audience, because you said you're a very submissive woman, for those who get triggered, because they think that word is a bad word,
It is not.
It's not.
can you explain to them?
So submissive could be a good thing. So the thing is, to be submissive, the problem is, like you said, the mate selection process. It's just like, if you select your mate appropriately, you just don't settle for whoever. Like I said, and I understand that it's some interest, like even, it takes a certain level of experience and knowledge to select the right spouse because a lot of factors goes into that. But you want to pick a man who's a good leader. If you pick a man that's a good leader, which means he's not going to lead you astray, he's not trying to control you, but he just want to let you feel safe and protect him. He could take care of you. He could make good decisions for the family, stuff like that. Then I don't think it's anything wrong with being submissive. And submissive don't mean that you're being controlled. It just means that you're
So the definition of submissive is obeying, when you obey something. Okay. So
I wouldn't necessarily say that.
no, it is. Look up the definition of being submissive, because submissive is not bad because we
Look up
all-
submissive.
Yeah, look up submissive.
Google that.
We all are submissive. Okay, I don't give a
Not
care
me.
if you're submissive to the law,
Not
to,
me.
to the person that you with, to
Not
your
me.
kid, to whoever. You are you are
I get
submissive.
that. I
Because
get that.
submissive means to obey something. So if someone says, hey, like I gave you an example about the money. Like if we in a relationship and the man comes in and whoever makes the most don't matter, but who is smarter as far as the money, and if he say, hey, we have to get allowance every week or you have to do this, you're going to obey to that because you know what's going on. So you're going to be submissive to what he's saying. So being submissive is not a bad thing. I just think it's the way people think, oh, well, I'm supposed to be pregnant and barefoot
Barefoot.
in the house. Right.
So someone who accepts and support their partner's influence without losing their own identity or freedom. Submission in a healthy relationship is characterized by mutual respect, gentle guidance, sharing opinion, and trust in decision.
Yeah, that's
So
why
that's
I
perfect
said
example.
Not obeying.
obeying
But if
necessarily.
you're in a relationship, if you get a man and he's not a good provider, he can't provide for his
She gonna
family,
re-Google.
he's
No,
lazy,
she
he
said
don't
Google AI.
he don't want to go to work. He makes poor decisions for the family, and he's just kind of leading you astray. And you submit to him. Like you're an idiot because how are you gonna submit yourself to somebody who can't lead you in the right direction?
Submissive, yeah.
Not submit.
It says ready to conform to the authority and will of others. Yeah.
I mean, it's different definition for things.
So
Like,
Yeah, it's just
that's the healthy. That's the healthy definition. That's the
We had an iPhone version and we had an Android.
Right. There you go. That's really what it was.
So heard that. Look that shit up in the Western Dictionary.
No, the iPhone definition was a lot better than that Android. The iPhone definition, right? The iPhone definition was way better than Android.
because when I go to dictionary.com, it says, but in like I said, different meanings. It said in a relationship who the person is obedient, given the person. Relationship
Don't trust people, no words over
giving
there.
power and control to other participants.
Right, which
And
is
then
not bad.
My
But it's
definition says,
if you have a good leader.
my
You
definition.
got iPhone or Android?
I have an iPhone.
There we go.
It says the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. They were forced into submission. Then it says, that was a noun. Then there's another one that says the action of presenting a proposal, application, or other document for consideration or judgment reports that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
so being submissive is not a bad thing
So it
because a
depends on-
man
it
can be
depends.
submissive to his wife and a woman can be submissive to her husband. So
I think it depends on the context. Are you being forced to do it? Are you willing to doing it? Is it healthy? Is it unhealthy?
well, you just said if you have a good mate, that's a good leader. That's
Right, but you're
vibing the
still
right
not
way.
just gonna always
Everybody ain't got that. Right.
It makes sense because even the best person isn't perfect. So it's just like you still have to be aware of what you're submitting.
Yeah,
to.
like
It
at the
has to make
situation that
sense.
I was in, I always fell back because I knew that he's not gonna let me drown.
Okay, well, here's
see what I'm saying?
here's your definition. It says, what does it mean to be a submissive person? If you are submissive, you obey someone without arguing.
Obey.
Some doctors want their patients to be submissive. You know, then it goes into the
Right.
synonyms. But yeah, but it does say
So you
obey
obey.
someone without
Yeah.
arguing.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that when it's a good
Don't
thing.
argue.
When it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? If you got, like you said, if you find somebody you want to be with that's a good leader, vice versa, when a woman, she could be a good leader as well because she can lead whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with saying,
So I
hey,
got-
you know,
I got a question. So in a relationship, right? Who's the leader?
am I?
Whoever. Everybody up
In
here.
my, I'm
Everybody up here.
in
Everybody
my
up here.
relationship-
That question goes for everybody up here.
In my relationship, I want the man to lead.
Okay.
So I
That's what I was
God.
gonna say.
Man, woman, children.
Good.
So-
In your relationship. Now, what about your relationship?
I just gave you the
He gave me
So God.
but I think go ahead.
No, I was just repeating what he said. God, then you,
and
and then her,
Yes.
and then the
I
kids.
think that it depends on the relationship though, because in general, I think that man and woman, they're, for the most part, their makeup is kind of differently. God made them with different skills, as you say, God. So it's just like in general, I think based on the man's setup, it's just like you kind of strip him of his power if you're more dominant.
So for your relationship, you want the man to lead.
No, I'm just saying in general, but in my relationship, I think it depends on the relationship. When you get into a relationship, you might have a man that say, okay, I'm okay with my woman being in charge.
Yeah.
But you might have another relationship where it's just like, okay, it don't quite work that way. So I'm not gonna say for my relationship because for one, I ain't in a relationship.
Hypothetically.
Hey, Jamaica.
Hypothetically,
How you doing?
I would want a man that's a good leader that I could submit to. Yeah,
What about you?
to submit sometimes.
So, so for me, I this is how I look at it as far as the relationship goes. I feel like there's no real leader in a relationship because I'm not gonna. There she go. I hope they lost.
First of all, answer question.
Because everything, I'm not gonna be good at everything, and she's not gonna be good at everything.
Right.
So where I'm weak at and she's strong at, okay, I need you to handle that. But I'm talking. Where-
Leader here.
there you go. You see what I'm saying? But she hates that shit though. But she hates that shit though. She hates that
At
every
home, hold on, at home. That's a different story. But at work,
week. So, but man, like I said, where I'm weak at and she's strong at, it's like, okay, yeah, take the lead. But while you taking that lead, show me what the fuck you're doing, because in case you're not here, I might have to do that. And vice versa. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when both of y'all on the same fucking level, ain't no leader. It's just like, you understand what I'm saying? We both here, because if I'm doing X, Y, and Z, if I'm paying the bills and doing all this, and I ain't showing you shit, I'll fuck around and die. You don't know shit.
I think though,
The whole household about to fall and shit because you don't know nothing. I ain't taught you nothing. I didn't bring you up. You see what I'm saying? Or you didn't bring me up. So now I'm lost in this particular
well, that's
situation.
called understanding both what's going
Yeah,
on. But leading.
Leading what though?
I think think that you could still.
That's what I'm saying. You don't even know. That's my point. You don't even. So let's say that. Leading what? Leading what?
I think
Leading
that
the household.
I think you could still be a good leader and work as a team. You can work together, you know. So I mean, you could still have what's your.
But if I don't know shit, how am I the leader?
Because if you're
Hold on.
you're a good team, you're gonna work together. Not because you're leading don't mean you have to know everything and do everything. You still got to work together as a team to accomplish your common goal.
Right, and that's my part was saying, if you, so let's just say you better with finances than me, right? So I'm bad with paying bills. I'm just gonna, you right? See what I'm saying? But you better at that. Say it's okay. I'm gonna give you this money. Go ahead, take care of all the bills.
You can still be the leader. You just
Now you gotta submit to her.
You realize that you're better at certain things and she's better at certain things. So as a leader, you're gonna say, hey, you know, let's kind of allocate these roles because I think we're kind of, you know, you're strong in those areas, I'm strong in those areas, and we can kind of work together to kind of achieve the common goal. So it's like being a good leader is also recognizing your woman's strength, because a lot of times somebody say they're leading and they come in, it's like I'm the leader, and they kind of push the woman aside, and they don't recognize that she got skills and stuff that could help the relationship. So part of being a good leader is identify that your woman can add something to the relationship.
To their value.
Skills and asset that could add value to
And
the
that go both ways, yeah.
So before you become a good leader, you must learn how to
You
follow.
gotta learn how to follow.
There you go.
That's some drum line. Nigga said that in drum line. That's classic.
It's like
That's
okay,
true.
it's like the whole idea for you're leading. It's like okay, you have to respect your man, but it goes both ways. The woman got to respect the man, but the man got to also respect the woman and what she contributes to the relationship.
Sure indeed.
Yeah,
Sure indeed.
yeah. Because if they get overlooked when they have things that they can bring to the table, that can cause conflict as well. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, you're not letting me be who I am because you're going to push me to the side all the time. So
Right.
yeah, that's definitely a good situation. Yeah, I wanted to say something about narcissism.
You forgot.
Yeah, I did. You know that happens.
So
Gaslight, manipulation.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, total blank.
All right. Well, the dating conversation definitely was informal. I think we should. I think we kind of hit a lot about narcissism.
Pop that nigga.
Or the woman, because a woman could be a narcissist as well.
Pop her too. Shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And so no, my question is: at what
Equal
point
rights.
do you just start seeing the behavior? Is it like? Because I'm pretty sure it's before one decided to get married to a person, right?
I think that the best way to identify narcissistic behavior is making a conscious decision of working on yourself. And you could do that outside of the relationship, you could do that inside of the relationship. Just make a conscious decision that think about whatever you have in your life, whatever past trauma, whatever current things, whatever you have in your life that you need to work on it. Make a conscious decision to say, I am going to work on myself. When you become better, your vision becomes better in a relationship.
Right.
And you can
So when you're better, then you're going to see the red flag. Because my problem was that I had an issue. Daddy issues is linked to a relationship. I didn't work on my daddy issues because I didn't want to get him locked up. So in hindsight, I carry all that baggage into my relationship. So I worked on those issues. My vision would have been clearer when I went in, and then I would have seen the red flag from early. So the idea is to just kind of come up with a plan. You sit down and say to yourself, what do I want in a relationship, right? You could even write it down.
Yeah.
These things I want in a relationship, these things I don't want, these are unhealthy. And then you have your non-negotiable, means that these things I don't want, but some things, nobody's perfect, so you got to compromise on. Then you have a list of things that you're definitely not going to compromise on.
Right.
And so when you get into a relationship, you just use your kind of list as a guide, and that will kind of help you identify some of the red flags, but not all, because your list is not exclusive of all negative or positive behaviors.
Okay.
So when you get into a relationship, it's like not rushing it, like taking stuff slow, one step at a time. When you do this step and you move to the next step, you ask yourself, do I see any unhealthy patterns in this relationship before you move on? And if you see an unhealthy pattern, you should probably take a break and figure out whether or not you should move on. When you get to the next step, and each step you do the same thing, you take a pause to try to look for these negative things. And when you do notice them, don't try to excuse them away. Oh, but he's so nice in these areas, and maybe it's this and maybe it's that. If it looks a certain way, it probably is that way. So if it looks like
I don't have her microphone.
if it looks like a red flag, it probably is a red flag. So it's just like being more mindful, because I think a lot of time, especially as women, we see something wrong with the guy, but he's so handsome, he's so intelligent,
He
he's
fucked me this way.
right, he always pays when we go out, he buys me these nice outfits, so I'm gonna overlook the fact that he's dismissive, he's argumentative when I try to communicate with him, he doesn't accept responsibility, and all these other negative behaviors. I'm gonna excuse it because he has all these other wonderful things going on with him. So I think the key sign in recognizing is not ignoring those things that you don't like. Because red flags, typically, they're things you don't like. You see something, you notice it, you get a sick feeling about it, or you just don't like it. Go with your gut. I think that's really important, because I think your gut feeling usually tells you when something is really off, and it usually sometimes tells you when something is right. So just trying to pay attention to those really early signs that something is wrong, and not nurturing negative behaviors and building a relationship on behaviors that already existed. Because like I think he said earlier, a lot of times, you know, the person kind of tells you that maybe they might not tell you out front like I'm this, and that, but they give you.
No, my mom told me that. She says when a person is talking, you better listen.
Right.
Tell
They
you about
give- they
themselves.
give
So
you-
yeah, what you said was right, Wally.
Like, so guys and females in general communicate differently. Guys, for more action oriented, we just talk a lot. But I think we need to listen as much as we talk, because a lot of times if you pay attention along the way, he gave you some kind of warning sign that he had these negative behaviors. But you ignored him either because you weren't listening, or the other parts of him were so awesome that you're just going to ignore it and or hope that he changed. People can choose to change things about themselves, but people don't have to change. So when you get into a relationship, whatever negative behavior exists, you got to ask yourself, can I live with these behaviors? If you can't, don't enter into that relationship, because even if that person promises to change, they don't have to change. That's their choice. You don't have control over whether or not that person.
So it's always good to, as Wally's favorite word, to vet a person. And with vetting a person, I feel like a lot of folks need to write the questions down that are very important to ask. Because sometimes we'll get involved with somebody and forget to ask a certain type of questions that are, raise and see if it might be a red flag or something like that. So we definitely have to write down questions and look at the characteristics of a person instead of looking at how much money they have and all that other good features. So why do you keep rubbing your baby?
Cause she said you get a gut feeling, and this motherfucker be telling me some shit.
Right.
My gut telling me some shit right now. This
My thing is,
motherfucker ain't big for nothing. They be telling me some shit. You understand? So I gotta.
They tell you to eat.
You show me fuck do.
Yeah. Okay, so
When and who? You understand? Yeah.
all right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Hopefully you got some good tips on dealing with a narcissist person. And when you all start to date, please vet people, ask questions so you will not run into these unhealthy situations. And there's nothing wrong with being submissive.